What's going on? It's ODM here, back at it. Blockout Podcast. We are live from Primm, Nevada, Buffalo Bills for the Latin Legends concert going down. Shout outs to Art Laboe. Rest in peace to the man. Many have graced this stage at many of his shows, including this one in particular. I'm sitting here with the legendary group Tierra.
Yeah, that's right.
Good to be here, baby.
We're here.
And if you notice, there's a lot of testosterone going on in here because that's all. It's a sausage fest. And we're waiting for the stripper to come out. I don't know. The homie back here was like, she's coming, but she's like this small. I don't know. I might opt out right now for that.
Yeah, check the AC, man.
So, fellas, let's go around the room really quick. And for those that don't know you, our audience, please introduce yourselves right here to my right.
My name is William Rivera. I am the lead singer of Tierra for 13 years.
Right on. Welcome, Will.
Yeah. I'm Victor Cisneros. I've been with Tierra since 1991. I'm the saxophonist, vocalist, and it's been a good ride.
Hey.
My name is Rudy Villa. I'm the band leader for Tierra. I've got a total of 33 years with the band and actually the last original member of the group.
Shit. So you get a car wash every 6 years,
I
huh?
guess, yeah, senior discount, man.
Well, what I understand off top is you're from Inland Empire, i.e. Ontario originally,
That's
right?
That's correct, yeah.
That's right, bro. We share a little bit in common. I stay in Riverside, been there for the last 30 plus years. So when I found that out, I was like, hey, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
so
we're right in the neighborhoods, man.
Before all of the upland area, before it became Rancho Cucamonga, that whole thing area, right?
Yeah.
Now, where are you fellas from?
I live out in the Inland Empire also.
Go put this mic up there. IE too as well?
Yeah, I'm out in the IE.
So you were out there?
I've been out there. I lived in Ontario for about 10 years, and then I bought a nice little spread out a little further out in San Bernardino.
Okay, from the SB. So IE, all right. A little different from LA, We kind of get overlooked, you know what I mean, sometimes as far as talent because, growing up as a rapper, man, it was like, you got to go to LA, man. That's where everything's at. If you want to really be, exposed or get heard, you got to. But I say, man, there's so much talent in the Inland Empire, and there always has been. And in fact, a lot of cats from LA have moved this way to the IE, to where they actually call their home. I grew up in Orange County in Santa Ana, and then I moved out in Riverside in '89. But it wasn't until there where I started my rapping career with Lighter Shade of Brown.
Lighter Shade of Brown.
So how about yourself, sir?
I'm from East Los Angeles, East LA. Yeah, that's from East LA. Yeah. It's born and raised.
Yeah.
And I've been there, and now I'm in Northeast LA now, so I just kind of moved up a little bit.
Kind of bounce around.
Still centrally located.
That's right. That's right. So let's talk real quick, man. Art Laboe show, Latin Legends tour. This is number 7. How many Art Laboe's years have you been doing? Performing with Art?
For myself, the entire time that I've been in the group, we've been doing shows with Art Laboe. One of the biggest shows on the roster as well.
Sure.
Always.
I see you guys
time.
got the suite. I mean, or Joanna.
We've been lining up with some of our heroes there musically as well. So really great time all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of like, we're like those go-to artists, you know what I'm saying? There's only so many of them and who made an impact, has been making an impact. I mean, obviously, you guys since the 70s, 80s, man. And it's just, that's one thing about our culture. I do say that they always embrace the gente is the greats, man, the legendaries, our own people, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, even us, like we go, damn, man, aren't they tired of seeing us? You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, they're not tired of paying us. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, we doing something right. So Art Laboe, man, tell us a quick memory, Bubs, about Art, man, that stick in your head, maybe a conversation that you've had in the past, or maybe a certain show.
I've always remembered Art always made us feel at home. That's one thing. Being the legendary personality that he always was. Yeah. He always treated Tierra, class A. I mean, he was always making us feel at home. And I'll never forget, one memory I had was when we were playing with Zap. One of the guys was dressed like a baby, had the diaper on.
Oh, the gordito that would come out with the pins?
I was standing in the wings waiting for our set, and then Art I see that guy carrying Art Laboe like a little baby. And Art Laboe, all his hairy chest and everything.
Guys, if you don't know, Art was like, what? He was like 5'6", 5'5", or something. No, he was probably smaller than that. 5'2". Yeah, probably 5'2". I had hyenas that were taller than Art.
He was a giant, but he was a giant. A giant in the industry.
But he made me feel tall, man.
Yeah. But he dressed better than all of us, so shit. I mean, that guy had more wardrobe changes than I don't know.
That's right.
Between him and between him and Roger Troutman, you know what I mean? But when did you first meet Art?
It's probably been over like 30 years, I think. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And we've done shows over those 30 years. I mean, it's kind of the evolution of his shows.
Right.
We've kind of been there along with him.
Did you grow up listening to him?
Sure did, yeah.
Of course.
He was a huge part of LA radio, you know. Mm-hmm. So with all the different AM and FM stations that he was on over the years, so yeah, you can't help.
I did radio for like 23 years myself, but I didn't get to experience the records, like meaning this with the crackling sounds. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you know it's original, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. He goes back to that,
man.
Yeah, he's an original, no doubt. Yeah.
What was one of your favorite shows, man?
Well, he's such a part of an enormous culture.
Yeah.
The Tierra fans are fantastic, the best fans in the world.
Right.
They've been supporting us so strong all this time, and that's what makes us feel so great every time we show up. And we got guys like this and their entire families showing up for us and vocally really giving it up for Tierra. So I was introduced to it 13 years ago by Rudy Salas, the founder of the band.
Yes.
And Rudy brought out everything. He has so many stories about Art Laboe.
Sure.
I wish he were here to tell you some of those
That's
stories.
right. He would be the source.
Because he would be the real source for those stories.
Right.
But we're just trying as hard as we can to carry on and keep the tradition of Tierra alive and keep it going.
Right. You know, with something very special about today's show here. It's the same lineup as 2020.
Right.
And the Latin Legends.
That's right.
And Rudy was on that show. Mm-hmm. You know, rest in peace, of course. Art Laboe, of course. Arcelio was on that same stage as well.
Right.
Yeah.
From Malo. And talk about really quick when you got because we didn't stay that night. That night it was in March of 2020.
Oh, geez.
And we got the call, and they said they were going to shut down the borders, meaning from here to California. Right. So we got that word, and we did our show, and we bounced. I wasn't trying to stay.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Stuck. Nobody wants that long drive.
Yeah, man. Talk about real quick when you got the. I mean, did you guys fear it all? I mean. Like
it was pretty surreal. It was pretty surreal just to see how things were kind of happening really quickly.
Yeah.
And we knew that we had to get the show in. We wanted to get the show in, but we had an idea that things were definitely going to shut down immediately thereafter. And but I'm glad we did. And
because you guys headlined.
I think so. I believe so. I believe so. Yeah. And it was just, but we're just so glad that we're back here.
Right.
And it's like, fast forward 3 years.
Yeah.
And here we are, again, and, celebrating, of course,
right.
the great personality that he was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that makes it unique, makes it special. You know, again, like
That's
I said, we lost some brothers since then.
We've lost a lot of people.
I mean, on and off that stage. Yeah. Right. And just to come back here, when I got the call, it was like, you guys are heading back to the same spot there in Prim. I was like, wow, let's really go out there and give out a kick-ass performance. Mm-hmm. Man, you guys have shared the stages with so many people, man. Bob, you being one of the originals, man, since '70. I know you were there, and then you kind of went away, and then you came back after I think the hit record Together was out.
I missed out 2 years before it came out. I missed out on it. Yeah.
And what was that like, real quick, to find out the record was on the radio? What were you doing at the time when you were away?
Oh, man. I at that time I had a side group that I had started, Top 40, and then I was working at a psychiatric hospital because I had to make ends meet.
Right.
Doing the maintenance. So I'm over there plunging a toilet because one of the patients stopped it up.
Okay.
And Together comes on playing, and I'm hearing the sax solo. I said, man, that should have been my solo.
That should have been me.
I'm like this, doing this, fixing toilets.
That's the way it goes.
What's crazy is we had the third member as well, part of our group, right? And he left in the beginning también. And we had switched managements, and then we ended up coming back to our original management. He stayed. He didn't want to come back for whatever reason. He wanted to produce or do whatever. But that's when we just kind of skyrocketed, you know. TJ Knight, all our hit records came out, he stayed over there. Yeah. And then I asked him 30 years later, hey, brother, I sat down right here. I said, hey, do you ever regret, like, leaving, man? He goes, well, I kind of did what I did, but, you know, after I saw, man, all the places you guys went, I got a little, you know what I'm saying, in my feelings, you know what I mean? He goes, but what can I do? It is what it is.
That's the way. I always supported the guys. I would always pop in and see them play and wish them well because, I always told Rudy I wanted the band to succeed and go forward, you know.
What was it like? What was the conversation like when Rudy brought you back?
I remember getting a call. He says, hey, Bub, I was just wondering if you'd be interested in coming back to the band. I said, hey, I didn't even think twice. I said, of course, man. So we started rehearsals. He was out there in Alhambra, and we started rehearsing there. And I was really excited to come back in. Actually, when I came back, Aaron Ballesteros came back, who was playing drums before also. And then we just fell in place. All the guys were really cordial with me. You know, we all just we clicked right away.
It's like you never left. Yeah.
In fact,
because it's got to be hard sometimes working with other band members you've never worked before.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially being put together. When you come up, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like we all have our issues. You know what I'm saying? We're brothers at the end of the day, but we still fight like brothers.
For sure.
But imagine not knowing somebody's personality coming into a situation and having to play with them and still get along. You know what I'm saying?
Adjustment,
And there's where egos come in, like big time, right?
Tierra has a long line of alumni, guys who had come in and been gone. Maybe a couple of them came back. Matter of fact, let me introduce you to a couple of them right now. We got our security guard right here.
Oh, wait.
And our bus driver over here. Let me introduce you to Mario and Tony Banda.
What's going, Mario? Welcome, Tony Banda.
Thank you.
Cool beard, man. Both of you guys. This one took a while, huh?
It's fake. You want to borrow it? Comes off.
It's a strap on? Oh, whoa.
Security. Not the kind you used to. With that chino.
We'll leave that one off camera. What's going on, Tony, man? How long you been part of the group?
Probably about 11, 12 years now, because just right after him.
That's right. So, about as long as you've been growing that beard, huh?
So this one's about 3 years.
3 years, okay. Well, shit, man, that's a long time. Were you putting like pills in that to make that grow, or with it?
Fertilizer.
The same stuff you put for the weed and make it grow.
Yeah, that's where you hide your weed, huh?
Got to,
Oh, you don't have to hide it no more, only certain states.
Yeah.
So what's going on? You were here, man, recently. Tell us a little bit about, your history, involvement.
Be with these guys. I've known these guys since they started. I knew Rudy and Steve and everybody, you know what I mean? So the guys in the band, I've been playing with different bands, and I've known everybody. And then when Steve Folomir passed away, Rudy called me to sub for that week. So I had to hurry up and learn the songs, and I didn't have anything. So I did what I can, and then that night, Rudy asked me if I want to join the band, and I said, "Well, bury the guy first, and then we'll talk about it."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But it was cool. He goes, "Man, you didn't even make a mistake. I didn't have to turn around once."
Right.
And I go, "I did my homework." You know what I mean?
Yeah, natural.
So I've been in the band ever since. I love it. You know what I mean?
Awesome. So
all these guys are great. So
how different has it been since Rudy has been gone? How I mean, obviously it's a tremendous
it's
climate change here because he's not
I think musically, actually, there hasn't been a big change. I think musically, we're kind of continuing onward with the vision that was there.
Yeah. We're lucky we got a guy like Mario.
There have been other
take over, man.
And I'm not gonna get into the weeds, but I'm just gonna say there's been other external things that have been very, very challenging for the band. I'm going to leave it at that. But but the music, in terms of the musicality, we have great musicians that are just focused on keeping the vision of Tierra alive, and that's basically it. But again, there are other external forces.
Sure, and I kind of want to, touch upon a little bit of that because as a fan, if I see a flyer and I see Tierra, and then I see Tierra Legacy, I'm going, there's a little bit of confusion right there, wouldn't you say?
Right.
Yes, there is.
Major.
And for the fans, particularly.
Yeah, for the fans. And because Rudy was part of one, obviously.
This is
Rudy Salas's Tierra.
Actually, it's Rudy and Steve Salas's, because Steve was with us as well, and I played with Steve and Rudy since 1991, off and on. I mean, Steve was in and out, but he was always there, along with his brother. So this is the actual origin of the band moving forward. So there are there's a tribute group that's out there as well, made up of former members and never members.
Which was Rudy's son, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Correct.
He was never a member, but Danny is part of the other tribute band.
The tribute group. Yeah. They're the former members and never members.
It's a great honor when you have someone who does a tribute band and they want to give honor and pay homage to the originals. But it's a different thing when you have someone who wants to take over for you. That's an imposter. There's a lot of different logic and a lot of different reasons why that is not Tierra. But if Rudy would have wanted his children and other people to be in Tierra, they would have been in Tierra. But they're not in Tierra. They may have been part of that growing up, and they may have been part of even the production or even some songwriting at times.
Right.
But we've been rehearsing for the last 13 years I've been here every Tuesday, and they ain't been at none of those rehearsals.
Got you.
Okay, so that includes every member in the other group who are calling themselves Tierra. And that really is a slap in the face and an insult to us, because we have continued to fight for Rudy Salas, and even when he was alive, he was being attacked by those people for multiple years before his passing. So this is not something new. This has gone on for almost a decade now.
So Rudy and Steve, they've been separated for a good amount of years, correct?
It was oil and water.
Okay.
There was, bless both of their hearts, and both of them rest in peace.
Yeah.
But the truth is that there was animosity throughout the history of Tierra between the two brothers. Everybody who knows them and knows Tierra knows that. But through the 90s, there was two Tierras. The brothers separated.
Yeah. That's what I was
another Tierra going across town. So this is nothing new. This is just the second and third generation.
That's what I'm saying. It seems like it came full circle back around again.
Drama. It's like a feud that's just been going on, and it's carried on into this. And so a lot of terrible things have been said about us, about Rudy, about Rudy's wife, and all those things are just fuel to the fire for these people to keep this thing going. And all we want to do is play music and honor what Rudy Salas gave us and what the baton that he handed us down to continue.
So let me ask you, is it this tribute band, not to keep harping on it, but did this just come about again after Rudy and Steve's passing, or has this been the same group since the 90s?
No. There was no tribute band before. It was Steve leading a group of guys who broke off with him.
Right.
And then Rudy, who always held the trademark and ran the entire business and got all the gigs and took care of everything for Tierra. If you say Tierra without saying Rudy's name, you're doing a disservice.
Is it fair to say that Rudy came up with the concept for Tierra?
Well, I wasn't there.
Let's put it this way: he's the glue that's kept this thing together for 50 years. He's the one that's kept it propelling forward, and moving forward, regardless of people that have come in and out of the group. It was his vision.
Yeah.
His brother was there, had a beautiful voice, and really was supportive of his brother in that regard. But it was Rudy that was the driving force behind it. There's no doubt in my mind. I've been there for 32 years.
Yeah.
That's my assessment.
I heard from there, because sometimes we don't always want to believe what we read on.
He was the driving
social media and the internet, but it came from you guys, so of course.
And when I met Rudy in '71, this was before the band actually came out officially. Rudy, I met him through another group. He came in to sub on guitar, and he was explaining the concept that he had for Tierra, and he also mentioned his brother. They had some original music, and he felt that I would fit in really good with his brother and himself. Yeah. So from there, I mean, he explained the concept like Tierra's earth, dirt, land. It's kind of like reaching out to everybody because we're all from the earth, and it's just a widespread. And that was his concept, that Tierra's to reach everyone, to reach everybody out there.
Well, I got to say, man, this song together. I mean, even me growing up, born in the '70s, and then later on after the '80s when Tierra, the song dropped, and I just remember cruising, man. It will always be at every, backyard barbecues, park, just everywhere, brother. Huh?
Yeah. That's right.
Cocktail hours.
Right.
It's just so smooth, and the way you guys took it and just rocked the original, man. I got, hats off, brother, and continue your success. It's good to see everybody here in one place, living for the legends themselves, Rudy and, of course, Steve.
That's right.
And here at the Art Laboe. Anything else we want to let the gente know out there, man, about anything present or future that's coming their way?
Just really grateful to carry on. The Tierra has, like you said, the concept that Rudy had for this band was to join all people together. And you see us today playing with people like Zap and playing with people like Midnight Star and bringing all these cultures together. We know how much Latinos love black music, and that black culture of music has continued on. And a lot of those artists may not be working today, not for the Latino artist, not for the Latino audience, and these promoters like Art Laboe who bring us out and let us work and put these shows together. So we're grateful to be part of that movement.
Absolutely. And you guys done a couple of the old school cruises too, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And the Latin Legends cruises.
And the Latin Legends. Right. Matter of fact, some of us will be on the next one. All of us will be there. All right.
Looking forward to it, man. Tierra, thank you guys once again.
Thank you.
Pleasure, man. You guys kick ass tonight. And
pleasure, brother.
We'll catch you guys. All right. God bless you guys, man.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks again.